Hello and welcome to day 7, part 2 of our Tiki Hot summer series in Cookie Snack Attack with Seriously Sweet. If you have not signed up for text alerting yet, that list is growing every time we go live. You can text the word live stream to 540-870-0726 and you will get an alert before we go live. So anything live. It might be a vendor product box reveal. It might be a tutorial. When it is something other than just a regular tutorial, I do try to put that in the text for you, so you know if you want to join and so you'll know what it is later. Hey guys, it's Amy from Seriously Sweet here. How are you this evening? I hope all of you are well. This is our final cookie cutter in the This is our final. I love it when you have that virtual background. So this is our final cookie cutter in the Tiki Hot series. And these cutters were awesome. They were created for me from designs that I sent to Dots and Bows. So let me see if I can turn that so you can see it. So your cutters are marked. One of the things I love about the way that Katrina and Carrie have these cutters set up. Do you see how that says DB and then SS? So that means it came from Dots and Bows and it's from the Seriously Sweet collection. And this is the Tiki banner. So this is a rather large cutter that we're going to be assembling tonight. This is one of the medium-sized plaques. So it's 5.5 wide and tallest, most extreme point is 4.25 on the height, okay? So this is something that would be a great cookie, a large feature cookie, or it would be great for converting to a cake topper for like a 6-inch round or an 8-inch round. So let me say hello to everyone. I hope you guys have been busy today. Hey, Becky. Hey, Allison. Oh, you made it to a live. That's so cool. Hi, Barbie. Hello, Miss Debbie. And April is here too. It's nice to see all of you this evening. Jennifer didn't make it this morning because she was visiting with a friend, but I hope she'll be with us this evening. So we have our cookie Tiki banner that we're going to do tonight. And just a couple of quick housekeeping things. I left the live stream phone number. It's 540-870-0726. I left that down at the bottom, but I'm going to go ahead and take that off so that doesn't distract us. But if you do want to sign up for alerts, please just text the word live stream to that phone number. That'll get you added and we'll get you an alert before we go live, okay? So tonight we're going to be finishing up this cool little guy. And in the part 1 video from earlier today, we sketched him out. Here we go. We'll use this one tonight. We went ahead and sketched this little cookie out. Isn't he going to be so cute? So today, after we finished going over what we're going to be doing, I made my little tiki face. And I made some bamboo pieces out of fondant. And I'm going to be using those for my torches tonight. And then we'll be adding greenery. I have assorted greenery. And I made a bunch of really cool new flowers from fondant earlier today. Let's take a look at those. You see all of those? So we've got a nice assortment of flowers in the small sizes to make arrangements on here. Allison said perfect size. Oh, April is saying nice size. And Allison is saying perfect size for a snack, like Snack Attack. I got it. And I can't believe we're at the end of Tiki Hot 2. But there may be a bonus coming next weekend that is not related to cutters that I actually designed, okay? So you may have a bonus next weekend. It's probably cutters that if you already cookie, you probably already have these cutters. They're a year old, but they go so perfectly with our set. I might work them in for you next weekend before we switch to something totally cool. Hey, Janie, how are you? Let's see. You're going to have withdrawals. Now, we can work in a Christmas tiki if you really want to, promise, because I'll be missing it as well. Let's see. Hold on just one second. Let me just see and can someone just verify for me real quick that everything got shared into the Cookie Snack Attack group? If someone's watching from there, maybe just let me know that. Let's see. Hold on just a second. I think I'm seeing it on my phone, so you guys should be all set. All right, so we should be good to go there. Now, I do want to show you there's a couple of housekeeping things really quick. Earlier today, I told you that I was waiting to post so that it wouldn't get confusing for everyone. So what you have posted in, oh, good. Thank you, Becky. A tiki for every occasion. Well, I mean, why not? They're so cool. Let's see. 3D printers if I don't have the cutter. Yes, yay. Yay, yay. Let's see. And good, you're in the group. Okay, so earlier today, I told you I did not post until around 3 o'clock. I did the upload, but some of the files were very large, so they took a considerable amount of time. But in the coffee shop, I should put that up for you, okay, since I don't see Jen here yet. So if you go to this link, you'll have to type it in. I'll drop it in live on the Facebook page after we're done here. But if you go to that site, today there is a free supply list for just today. If you have been participating the entire way, you won't need to go back and do all of the other items. Then there is also free supply list with the 2 royal icing transfer sheets, which for today was our little coconut drink and our little flames for our tiki torches. So I just wanted to show this to you. We're going to go ahead and do it on the cookie. I think tonight, we're going to do it on the cookie, but I wanted to show you what I was talking about just mixing the colors by taking your scribe back and forth to make that. So let's see, yep, that's the one we're going to use. So this is just red, orange, and yellow, or red, orange, yellow, and then the scribe back and forth maybe 2-3 times, not a lot. You don't want to overmix it to create that cool flame for the top of our tiki torch. So you can use the royal icing transfer template to create a bunch of those ahead of time so you can pick out the perfect one. Since it is a wet on wet technique, they always come out different. And then we're going to create this really quick so you can see how to pipe the little drink. I hope you guys remembered to pull some cool sprinkles, because we're going to use the extra long sprinkles. I'm going to do mine in pink since my tiki face has pink. So I'm just going to pull a few of these long ones out. We're going to use that for our drink. My puppy just came to visit. She's not a puppy. She's 15, but she's just decided to drag her little dog bed in here and put it at my feet. So she's ready to go. She knows it is live stream time. Let's see. Yes, save it as, oh, that's so good, Allison. Yes, save it in the favorites in your browser. So, okay, so let's jump back to this really quick. Like, yeah, obviously I picked pink because my tiki face is pink. I realized I had a lot of blue tiki lips, so I needed to balance it with pink. Let's see. So what you have in the shop is a free supply listing, or you have the 2 royal icing transfer templates with the free supply listing for this week. That is for the people that have been purchasing all along the way. There were some people that didn't have time to do the series yet, and you requested that I make one easy download for you to purchase everything in the royal icing transfers and all of the supply lists together. So you have a listing tonight for 2 additional listings in the site that I put up this afternoon. You can get all of the supply lists from the beginning part of the series till the end, all as one free download. Please feel free to digitally tip me. These things take a lot of time to create. So please feel free to leave a little something there to help support the live streams. Surely would appreciate it. And then you have you have a master set of royal icing transfer templates for sale in the coffee shop that are the same price as if you had bought each week's separate templates. Okay. So 31 downloads in the royal icing transfer template package, 31 separate templates. You don't have to download them all. Just look through. They're titled really well. Pick out the ones you want and then pop back over. And on the supply list, I'd go ahead and download all the supply lists or download them to a file on your computer. I don't know that I print them all because they are clickable links for each week, okay? So let's see what we have going on up here. Hello, Miss Harriet. How are you? Hi, Bev. I'm glad you made it tonight. Hey, Sally. How are you? I hope your connections work too. So let's jump right in. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. Also, tomorrow, because I need sunlight to take the last photo after we finish tonight, tomorrow is when I will upload the photograph with the finished cookie and a cookie cutter. So we will have 7 separate 8.5 by 11 PDFs where I photographed a finished cookie with the actual cookie cutter. So those will be free. Okay. Then I'm going to take those and try to shrink them to tag size in case you want to attach them to your cookie cutters for future reference. So the one that I'm putting up where I'm going to shrink them to gift tags, that's going to be a PDF with all the tags on one page. And I think I'm just going to put $2 on that to help try to cover the time for creating those things. The ones with the large photos, if you know how to do all of that, you'll have those and you can do what you need to do with them. The photos for the first 6 turned out really great this afternoon because finally, after a very rainy weekend, we had a very nice day. So that was fantastic. And Becky is saying hi to Sally. You guys feel free to chat over there in the comments. Please feel free to chat, okay? And if somebody sees Jennifer pop on, let me know. Brian, hold on one sec, guys. Brian, can you come in for a second? So, okay, let's go ahead. This one was just very basic, following the outline, 3 colors, and running your scribe through it. It's been in the dehydrator, so these should be good to go in a little bit. We've pulled out our sprinkles. I've showed you the pieces that we've created. Now let's go ahead and make just a couple of these little coconut drinks, okay? Yes, Sharon, I am so hoping that what I set up for this one, sorry guys, could you turn that on for me about halfway up? I'm sorry, I forgot that last light. I am hoping what I set up for you this time will be, that's perfect, thank you. I'm hoping, thanks, babe. I'm hoping that we will be able to use that same layout going forward for all the sets that are coming up. So I'm hoping it will be something I can do each time after we finish a collection. Now, it's not going to include the bonus cookies that we did. It's just going to be the cookie cutters with finished cookies and then a separate set of tags to go with them for the cutters that I designed, okay? But hopefully that's going to help. Yes, it was so nice today. You read a book all day, Allison. I thought you would have been making cookies. All right, so let's go ahead and do a couple of these. This is not my normal outline flood consistency, and it's not quite to toothpaste consistency. So it's not an 18-second and it's not a 30 seconds. It's somewhere right in between, okay? So we're just basically going to, and I'm just purging the tip off to the side. I'm just basically going to run a nice outline around a couple of these. Maybe a double ring for that outline there. I really, really like to do these like this because I like to have a really secure royal icing transfer. Now, if anybody's on that is connected with Miss Jennifer, we probably should message her just to see if she's okay, because she definitely had said she would be here tonight. So we probably should check on her. You know, Sharon, I do too. And the other thing, I like to have the tag on it. And then when I pull my cutters out, I like to flip my cutters every single direction before I go back and look at the tag, because sometimes you look at it and you go, oh, you know, this, it's not what I remember it being. So your brain comes up with a different shape. Creative people tend to operate like that. Your brain processes just slightly differently. So I kind of like that. So I've got a couple of rounds on these top 4. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is just go ahead and bring my white in. Remember I told you that if you had sanding sugar and you wanted to make a nice texture on your coconut drink, you could. Now, I'm not going to put sanding sugar on these, but the reason I mention that is because if that is something that you want to do to get texture in the drink part of your little coconut drink, then what you would want to do is do the white part first, use your sanding sugar, and then come back and add your your outer consistency in the brown. Okay, now I think those look pretty good, but if you guys will just hang with me just to make sure my transfer is super secure, I want to make sure that white is really all the way up against that brown outline. And it was so sunny when I sat down in here a little bit ago and started prepping everything for our video. I forgot to turn that last studio light on. So luckily my husband was home and he came in and fixed that for me. So I'm sorry about that little interruption. That's totally on me, but it's harder for me to reach it once our live stream has started. It's so nice to see you guys tonight. If you're here and you're watching, please leave your name over in the comment section. Say hello. Your white would be cratering already, Sally. I just made it a little thicker. And literally, I just stirred this white before we went live. So leave your name. Maybe tell us where you're from. Now, look, this is how easy it is to do this. We want to use these sprinkles as our straws. So you just want to place it into that icing and let it, of its own weight, with the gravity, pull it down to where it touches the brown. You just need enough in there that when this transfer dries, that it will be secure. So let's go ahead and pull out one more. How about for you guys, I do one aqua straw. How about we go rogue and do a different color? I mean, we had to know that I was going to use pink, but I think it's perfectly fine to mix. Oh, Jennifer, you're here. Hi. So glad. I was worried about you. I didn't see you at first. So let's say hi to a couple more people. Hello, Miss Elizabeth. Hi, Jennifer. So glad you're okay. Becky's from Houston. Let's see. Oh, Teresa, thank you so much. I'm so glad you joined. It's so nice to see familiar names each time, too, because I know you're really following the series. So I'm hoping that we're teaching fun stuff that you're actually going to use. Hey, Sally, a sprinkle straw, right? Because I had to work in candy. That's what happened. Jennifer, let's see. Barbie's, everyone's good. Jennifer, we were worried because you weren't here. There are other colors for me besides pink, Allison. So funny. Oh, well, I hope that call went well. I hope that went well, Jen. Hey, how are you? How are you? So Memphis is in the house too. How fun. So Culpeper, Memphis, glitter will be arriving shortly. Don't worry. We will be getting glitter on here. All right. So let's finish filling in our coconuts. And we want to put a lot of icing in here because we don't want to sculpt this, but we do want it to have that nice lifted, rounded look to it, right? So we're going to let it crust over, and then we'll come back to it and do maybe a baby quantity of sculpting, okay? So you can see where I'm just filling in. I'm using that edge. I've got my dehydrator going. I'm going to pop these in the dehydrator, but they probably won't be dry for an hour or two, enough to get them off this paper. So what I'll probably do is just peel these off in the morning and attach them to the cookie before I take the final photo. So we may actually create, oops, I didn't realize I was underneath the little bubble. Sorry, I hope you could see that. Okay, let me get over here and hopefully you'll be able to see a little better. So I'll peel these off tomorrow and attach it to the cookie. But I realized this morning after we finished up, because I was trying to keep this morning's video a little shorter for you, I realized I didn't actually show you how to create the transfer. And I like to do that so that you have a reference point, especially for those of you that have been doing this whole series. So hopefully everything that we have learned is going to just go swimmingly. Did you catch that? Swimmingly into what our next few weeks are going to be, that we're going to be using some generic cutters for while you guys will have time, because I haven't quite finished the drawings for Christmas yet. And I was trying to send my Halloween and Christmas sets together to Dots and Bows, so that if you were going to do all of the series that we're going to be doing, you could order them all at one time. All right. Now, if you would just indulge me, I would like to take a little bit of what's finely ground up on this coconut, and I want to put at least a tiny bit of this coconut on one of my transfers. Okay. So I'm just going to sprinkle it on there trying not to get too much of it in the white. I, of course, can take it off with a pair of tweezers, but I have some of it so grated up with my fingers that I think that should work really well. There we go. So get us a little texture. We're going to see how much longer. I'll time this and tell you how much longer it takes for this one to dry since we're obstructing the top a little bit, okay? Let's see. But isn't that so? I just love this, the toasted coconut on the coconut cookies that we did earlier in the series. So whenever I make the cookies, you guys know I like to keep extra. And so tonight I just pulled out all the little bits and bobs that were extra that I thought I might want to use on my Tiki banner cookie. So we'll just use one little bit of coconut on it and we'll see what that looks like, okay? Really love it because not only does it add flavor, but if you decide to do like a tropical flavored cookie, having a coconut with lemon or coconut with lime is going to give you a real tropical flavor for your cookie. And then you could do lemon or lime icing so that you have those flavors working back and forth. And then a little coconut on there is great because you expect when you are tasting those flavors, you expect the kind of texture that you might get from toasted coconut. So let me just pop this in the dehydrator. And for anyone that is asking, I have a Sasori dehydrator. It has 6 shelves in it. I love it. It was not terribly expensive, but it is something that was on my wish list when I first started doing cookies because it helps so much with the shine of your cookie and with preventing craters. So it was one of the first larger items that I wanted to get, okay? Let's see. Elizabeth is loving the texture on the coconut. That is just, Elaine, your question. Let me hit these questions real quick before they roll up further on the screen. That is sweetened coconut flakes that I toasted in the oven. I kept turning them for about 10 minutes total at 350 until we got all those cool colors. Sally, I don't know what I did that was brilliant, but thank you. I'm glad you thought so. Coffee grinder would be great. Yes, to take it down to little, but mine are crispy because these are toasted. So you literally can just work them in the bag like this and it's going to go down to next to nothing. So if you're doing a cookie for profit order and you're doing a lot of cookies, then you definitely want to use a coffee grinder or something. You wouldn't want to go to that fine of a particle just doing it by hand in a Ziploc bag. But also when they first come out of the oven and they're good and crispy, if you put them in a bag in a Ziploc and then use your rolling pin over them, it crushes them right down too. So that also works really well. Not alone. Let's see. I know. Okay. So earlier today, I used to have a shop in Florida called Beach Bums. And earlier today, when I was working on this last cookie, this song, we used to play it in the store all the time. Put the lime in the coconut. And so I was thinking of that earlier today. So it's so funny that you thought of that, Allison, craving a coconut drink now. Yes, a slushy coconut drink would be great. All right. So let's jump back to our cookies. Now, what I have done here is I have a few of my bamboo pieces already made, already colored, and I really like this. Do you see in that fondant mold that's made for cakes? Do you see how it has that cool end like we did when we actually sculpted cookies? Can you see all the green food dye that's under my fingernails from some airbrush color that hiccuped on me? So, I like the texture of all of this. I like how it comes out. I did this with a yellow base of coloring first, and then went back and did the grooves and the edges and the divot areas with a little bit of a darker green. So now what I want, ooh, almost cracked my tiki face. Have to be careful with the tiki. So I want that to show. So I'm going to actually put it as high up as I think it's going to be. And we're just going to trim. Let me show you what we're doing. So I've already sketched where my flame is going to be. Let me turn this so you can see what I'm doing. Sometimes you have to measure a cookie like this because, you know, cookies spread a little. Some are, some cookies are, you just end up, if you hand cut them, they might be a little bigger, a little smaller. So I just try to show you ways to hand measure things. So we're going to set it there. We know how far we roughly want our flame. And I literally am just going to snap that little piece off. I didn't mean for it to go across the room or across the table, but it did, because this is a drier piece. This was made 2 days ago, but I'm saving that little nugget because I may want to use that later for something. So you see, we'll do our flame up here, then we'll have this, and then we're going to go back and add all of our fondant, our leaves, our fondant flowers and leaves. So same thing here. We want to see that cool end of a tiki torch. And let's go ahead and mark this one. Just marking it where I think I want the bottom of the flame to be, and then using a pair of scissors, I'm just trimming it off. Just get a little crack going, save that piece. So now I have those bits. I have the tiki face that I really like. Now, I may go back tomorrow and antique him a little bit in these light brown areas, but I'm just going to see how the cookie turns out first and see what I want to do there. But I want him to be completely on top, so we're going to start first with the banner part of our cookie, and we're going to be using an 18 to 20 second outline and flood consistency. Let's see what's going on here. Airbrush my hand check. Oh, I have a checklist, Jen, right? So funny. He might need a golden tooth. Becky, I think, did a golden tooth, and he was pretty cute. But I'm kind of saving my golden tooth for the pirate. Oops, did I say pirate? Maybe I shouldn't have said pirate to you just yet. Maybe you'll be figuring out one of our extras. Oh, so funny. Dog snack check. Oh, for the fondant? They probably would, but they're older dogs, and I don't like for them to have anything other than what they're actually supposed to have, like all nutritious things, and they get their little cookie snacks that have glucosamine and all that in it. So I try to not. I want them to live a lot longer. So I try. Oh, you guys, you're on it. You got it already. I see. Maybe I should not have said that out loud. And maybe you will perhaps want to prepare a parrot. Just saying, you might want to prepare a parrot as well. Yes, a parrot. Sally guessed it. Hadn't even seen your comment yet. That's so funny. Let's see what this one is. I have a friend where I live. Yes. In Florida, we used to have a pirate festival once a year at Fisherman's Village, and it was so much fun. We loved dressing up for that, and I decorated the storefront with skull and crossbones and all the cool pirate patterns. It was just really fun. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Remember, we already went through in part 1 video how to sketch out this cookie so that we can do your banner. Now, I just want you to watch this. This is level 1. Both of these are level 2, and this is level 3. Okay, so we're going to do level 1 and level 3 first, leaving level 2 empty so that these can crust up. So when we come back and put this one in, we automatically have separation between the sections. So let's go ahead and get started on that. And I do, because I piped my tiki face in the darker brown, I do want to use my lighter brown for my banner, and I'll use my dark brown to come in and do these accents on the side. So just purge the tip of your bag on a paper towel off to the side. These are super forgiving cookies. Now, these dark filled in spots, we'll go back and do them when we do section 2. So just make sure what you're piping right now that you completely separate the filled in section from where we're going to pipe section 2 later. Just make sure it has a nice line in between it of icing so that when it does crust over, what's going to happen is you'll be able to easily go back and fill this in. You can even leave it in the black so it looks like shadowing if you want to, but we were probably going to ice ours if this crusts up fast enough. Now go ahead and do your whole banner on the cookie. Okay. Let me move a few of these pieces. I don't want to risk breaking anything. Remind me, Jen, please remind me when we get to it. When I show you the hibiscus flowers I made from fondant today, remind me to talk to you about Sugar Art Daisy. It is a master elite color or an elite color. It might be an elite color. But I want to talk to you about something I discovered today that I think will be super useful for you guys for any of your Hawaiian themed items for florals or for your springtime florals. I did not realize how great something would look, but I spilled something and then I thought, perfect. That would have been perfect if we had done that a few weeks ago. Okay, so we've got that filled in. I'm just on the side purging the dark brown. Now what I want to do is I just want to come in this area and I'm just going to outline just that much. Can you see that? So just a little bit. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to put some crevices here so it make it look like a weathered board almost. They don't have to be symmetrical and they don't have to be perfect. So just dark brown outline here, encompassing this whole area that we just did. All right, and then just put some color down. Don't even worry about what it looks like. I prefer to use a fondant needle for doing this next step. And what I like to do is just run my two colors together to blend that in just slightly. I'm not affecting the outside outline. I do want it to settle down smooth. I don't want this to be rough because this is intended to be an area that you can write on. So you can personalize this. You can use it for a cake topper. You can use it for a feature cookie. You can use it for a luau, if our family reunion, if you want to get something on there. But can you see what I'm doing? I'm just dragging a little bit, just these very, very fine areas. I'm not breaking the outer seal of that dark brown, but I've used what I put down in the lines, plus pulling a little in from the edging. Okay, and then I'm just going to give it a little jiggle to get it to settle back down. But we just want that little bit of that weathered look. And if you have a little bit too much dark brown, just pop some light brown over it. And I'm going to lift this as soon as I finish it because this icing is a little more than outline flood, a little less than the toothpaste consistency we've worked with for sculpting. And by toothpaste, I mean paste, not gel. So that's like a 30-second icing or thicker. I take it so thick it doesn't move unless you really work it so that it doesn't settle down. I like for it to be where I can just jump right in and start sculpting with it. So let me finish these two sides and then I'll lift it up so you can see the fine detail of what I'm talking about to blend your colors so that you just get that wooden sign looking. And don't forget, we use the light brown because our tiki face, which is going to sit on top of this, the color that's going to touch it is the dark brown. So we want a different shade of brown. It's fine that they're both brown, but we want a different shade to touch it, okay? So let me lift this. So do you see what we just did? Just that little bit of work with the fondant needle. And I do find that it is important to do it with the fondant needle versus a scribe because it is a different millimeter of thickness. So let me show you. Do you see how much thicker a scribe is? Even a metal scribe, even a pointy metal scribe is much thicker than using a fondant needle. Can you guys see that, the difference there? So for really fine detail work, this is about $3 at Hobby Lobby. It's just a fondant needle to pop air bubbles in your fondant when you're putting fondant on a cake. Or I think that's the primary use of it. You don't really need it when you're doing cupcake toppers because they sit right on top. So I think its primary usage is for popping air bubbles when you're doing fondant on a cake. Okay, let's catch up on some comments. Oh, we got the pirate comments going. Love it. Love it. Yep, and Sally did say the parrot, so we got that. We talked about that. Yeah, oh, Gracie is loud. You have a real parrot, right, Jen? Oh, yeah. There's so many cool things in New Orleans. It's just such a great place. I have not been able to go back in years, but we love the market in the French Quarter and the art at Jackson Square and the buggy rides when it's not too hot. I can't do the buggy rides when it's too hot because I feel so bad for the horses. Let's see. Thank you, Miss Jennifer. Hello. Hello, hello, Kelly. Thank you. Let's see. We good? Peach. Oh, yes. You'll have to post a picture sometime. All right. So let's get this set. I think what we should do next is go ahead and set our bamboo pieces. No, you know what? Let's go ahead and do our flames. First, let's see if these are dry enough to come off. I suspect they are not, but I'm going to go ahead and take the paper and the backer out of the bag and see. Let me move this over so I don't wreck anything. Let's just see if we can. Oh, you know what? They are coming off. So we're going to use our transfers. So let's get a right facing one. And do you see how easy I'm popping that off? Now, truth be told, these are still damp on the back. Can you see that? But you saw how easy I just popped that off by removing the hard part behind it and then just rolling the cellophane that we pipe on, rolling that down. Do you see that? So it's coming right off. Now these, because I don't want to risk cracking them, I'm just going to put this back in. I grabbed a right facing and a left facing. So we're going to attach those after we attach the bamboo. So I have some thick green, very thick green that we're going to attach the bamboo shoots with. And we already measured those. And we want them to just bump up against, just barely bump up against that banner because we want to see that indented part, right? So let's just put some on the back. We're using green because if it shows out of the side, if we get a little too heavy-handed and any of the color comes out, we're using green so it kind of disguises it, right? We wouldn't want to use red under there and have the red come out. A little bit of green to attach, it's perfectly fine if people see it. Now there's a little bit of extra on the right, so all I'm going to do is just grab that using the tip of my scribe. I'm not taking it all the way off. I'm just grabbing a little bit. Truthfully, it doesn't matter because we're about to add a bunch of foliage to this, but just to be safe in case I decide to not go as heavy-handed with the leaves and the flowers, we don't want to have to clean that up later when it's started to crust, right? All right, so again, leaving the end of this where we're going to be able to see it really well. Let me lift that and show you. So you can see how that looks attached. Let's go ahead and take a little bit of this green off in case we don't end up that being fully covered. All right, and then what we're going to do is we are going to take, I'm going to use brown, my thicker brown, because I don't have a thick red. I'm going to use my thicker brown and attach my flames. And hopefully I'm going to be gentle, and not crack this. So I'm going to use some of the brown on the back. If it shows, I don't think that's going to matter. I don't want to use green, though. I think green would be odd, but the brown we can take off easily. So we're going to put that right down on the cookie. Right there. Isn't that cute? Look, already we have beautiful tiki torches. Okay, let's use our right facing one and the same thing. Now, guys, seriously, you have to be super gentle if these are not overnight dry, okay? Because you just introduce a bunch more moisture to your flames to attach them this way. But I really wanted to use those if we could because they turned out so cute. And I'm just doing very, very gentle tapping with my finger so that I don't damage the flames. And I'm just taking a quick look to make sure I've got all that marker covered up, okay? All right, so now what we're going to do, just so we can start seeing it. Remember I said earlier, hey, Heather, how are you? So good to see you tonight. Let's see. They're so wicked smart and have so much personality. Oh, the birds. You guys are talking about the birds? Absolutely. They are very, very smart. Oh, look, Harry, you're adopting a macaw. That's so cool. That is really neat. Let's see. Becky is working along, putting us all to shame. She might be, Kelly. She might be, but I think she already made this one, but she made it with a different design because I hadn't released what the design was supposed to be yet. So she's probably doing one. Heather, no, I got sunshine this afternoon, so I was able to get some photos. So that's good. So the other thing, the reason you're asking me about the rain, I can't do that until my husband and my neighbors are both home. But it's coming. It's coming. So this little guy, we want to go ahead and attach him because remember, we're always talking about spacing. So the things that are very important on your cookie, place them first. Sketch them first, mark them first, and then that way you have room for adjustment on your other items. So what we're going to do, guys, this already has one level. Oh, and you know what? Let me circle back to this real quick, or we're not going to be ready to do the last part of this cookie. When I piped this section, remember I meant to also pipe section 3 because they're not touching. So I'm going to give the whole section of section 3 a dark brown outline. Hopefully by the time we finish placing the tiki and our flowers, section 3 will have caught up with section 1 and we will just have section 2 to finish. And now I am filling with this light brown, which remember was determined, which way we did our browns was determined by what was going to be touching that part of the tiki sign. So order does actually matter when you're doing these things. And it's best to plan it ahead of time rather than waste one whole cookie, right? So let's go ahead and just get a little bit. We don't need as much on this one because we're going to do it from both sides. But let's just get a little bit of the dark brown so we can do that quick swirly. Right? We just want to do a little. And it's a smaller area, so it's harder to get it. You might actually have to take some icing off because you don't have as far to spread it. I just caught a piece of paper towel in that one. So we just want that weathered look to it. A banner, think banner like your ribbon, if you were going to do ribbon with this, right? If you had how a piece of ribbon would curl, but we want it to look like a carved wood sign at the same time. So see the difference between this side, what we just did, and then what this one looks like? Okay, now I have to ask, does anybody have me on a big screen TV tonight? And if you have me on a big screen TV, does this show up well for you? Because I have another camera that we're going to start using soon. And I just want somebody that normally watches to be kind of taking a mental note of how this looks tonight. So we'll circle back and finish that out, but I needed to get that caught up with section 1. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments. Let's see. My mind wrapped around the pirate now. Captain Jack. Oh, wouldn't that be so fun? All right, let's see what this is. Hey, Allison, thank you for joining us for tonight while you could, and catch it tomorrow. Message me if you have questions. Bev, just stays up. Part 3 supply list is blank. Bev, did you download it from day 5, part 3, just day 5, part 3? Or are you saying day 5, part 3 in the master set of supply lists is blank? Just let me know. And if there's something wrong with that, I'll get it corrected when we're done in a few minutes. Becky, you have a skull and crossbone flag on your flagpole. That's so fun. I really like them. They're cool. All right, so let's go ahead and get the background of this to the same level as our sign so we can attach our little tiki face, okay? So I'm right-handed. I'm going to turn this to the right. Again, I'm using the same color that I originally piped my tiki face in, and the reason I'm doing that is so it's just going to look like it's a lifted, sculpted tiki face. Right? So it's going to show out the sides of the little tiki man. We don't care because it's going to look like it's carved wood. Now, I have to tell you, I really like how this one is turning out with the bamboo pieces and the sculpted bits here. So I am not sure how much floral, I really like the very overdone cookies for the purposes that we've been creating them for. Day 5. Okay, I'll check that. I'll check it. I don't know if it's just you because no one else has told me they've downloaded it yet. They were all there earlier, and they're all definitely PDFs. But I will check that as soon as we get done. All right, so I forget what I was telling you. All right, so there is our nice outline, and I made his teeth. I like the bright white teeth. You guys know I haven't gotten away from that. I haven't made any of them like the down and dirty. Hey, Nadine, how are you? I'm so glad you caught alive tonight. Hi. So I went ahead and made it look like a few of his teeth were busted, though, because I do like how that turns out. So we've now got a layer down that's the same color as the base of our royal icing transfer because we know we're going to see it. We've already put him on the cookie, so we know he's going to cover this full area. And this layer is to get us to the same layer as this so that we can just gently drop him on. Now, I do try to put as much on the cookie when the cookie is wet as is possible because it just gives it extra security when it's attaching overnight, right? When it's drying. Now, I don't want to make any ripples down here, though. So what I'm going to do is just gently pull a little bit of this off because it's just a little bit more than I wanted to show. And I'm just using my scribe or my boo-boo stick to do that. I'm going to pull the largest part off, and then I'm going to come back and work that icing towards the transfer so that it's not on the edge of my cookie right here. Okay. Cleaned it up a little bit, but truthfully, we're probably going to put some flowers right in that little area. So right here, I'm not too concerned about. Up here, I want to make sure that I pull a significant amount of that icing back off. Okay. All right. How are you guys liking this? Didn't you love the cutters from Dots and Bows? They did such a good job for us. It's good. Oh, it's good. And thank you, Bev, for checking that. It's good in the individual download. And then, so it's not working in the master list. So I'll check it in the master list for you. Okay. And I'll thank you for telling me, because I would hate for anybody to do that in the middle of the night when I'm asleep. You know how you are when you start downloading stuff, you want to get it done right then. All right. So I know I love them too, Becky. Love them. So here's what we're going to do really quickly. You know, I trimmed the bamboo. Let me just show you where I trimmed it, right? So now we have these glaring white areas. So what we want to do there is just take our, we want to take our paintbrush. Any paintbrush will do. I have a little bit of coloring in my palette, gel coloring that I added Everclear to. And what we're going to do is just grab up a little bit of that green, blot it on a paper towel, because we don't want to risk getting this onto the flames, but we do want to get some color on there so we don't forget later. So do you see how easy? You know what? We need a little more Everclear. It's just a smidge too thick. So let's grab the Everclear, pouring into the cap. You might be able to see it, but I don't want to risk getting it onto my cookie. Pouring into the cap, and then I'm going to put the rest into this tray and thin up that color a little bit. Okay. And that is Everclear 151. I can't get the 190 in my state, so I just have the 151, but it's enough. It evaporates super fast. And yes, there are alternatives. Look, I spilled just that fast. There are alternatives. You can use vodka. It may affect your gel colorings differently. We have a couple videos up on that as well. You also can use lemon extract. It's just not going to dry as fast. You also can thin it out with water, but depending on what you want the surface of your cookie to look like when you're done, that could affect what you're doing, affect the texture that comes out. So I'm just blotting this off to the side. All right, I'm going to grab a little bit of the yellow with it. And we literally are just touching the top of that flame, the top of the bamboo bit, okay? All right. Now, don't forget, we have to come back. Let me pull this up here where you can see it. I'm just touching it, and it starts leaching. Do you see how far it went on its own? Right? So just barely touch it. Now, since I have this darker green at the top now and I have it out, I'm just going to put a couple little darker lines in these crevice areas. And then I'll work it out with some of the Everclear. Just thin it out a little, darken this up. I love it. Love it, love it. Same thing, let's make our two sides match. I hadn't planned on painting tonight, but once I saw that, I thought, oh, well, let's do that. Got to get that out. And I think the darker green is going to show up just a little bit better with this darker brown that we used to. So I'm just giving it a little highlight and then using some Everclear to thin out the color so it'll run along the grooves of the fondant. I like how that looks a lot. All right, so there we go with that. Let's get that out of the way so I don't spill it. All right, so our little sign is cute, but honestly, considering how fantastic that we have made all the others look so full, so it would look like an actual luau floral arrangement, he looks a little naked, right? So how about we go ahead and attach a few flowers and leaves. Let's see if we have anything else over here. Kelly, you like these? I'm so happy. Becky, you love them. I know Becky has a whole tiki theme going at her house right now, which I just dig. That's so cool. I love to see your pictures. Hot, hot, hot. Isn't that a dance too? A dance or a song? Hot, hot, hot. I feel like there's so many summer songs. And you guys, it's so weird. It's only the 3rd of August, but somehow I have this super sad feeling like summer is over just because our Tiki Hot series is finishing up, right? So we've been working on something that so perfectly fit our season, but now in order to get kicking, for those of us who cookie for profit, we've got to get moving. We've got to get moving so that we can get our seasonal stuff set up so that we have our supplies before things run out and all of that, right? Do you guys feel that way? All right, so let's go ahead and finish these 2 sections. All right, and what we're going to do on those is we're going to just fill the sections in with the light, just the light, right? Because we have that edging in the other 2 sections. And we don't want to go up over the sections. We just want to get enough coloring in there. Right? We can use our scribe or our fondant needle, and we can drag that color by just gently manipulating the icing. We'll just bring it over so we get a nice line from here to there, and any ink that we may have drawn on the cookie, because you may not want to put flowers down here. I'm probably going to add a few flowers, but you may not want to. So if that's the case, just make sure that you get your ink coverage really good, okay? Now let's fill this one in. All right, and remember we kept this section totally separate from the 3rd section, so we're filling this in. The other reason we did that is because at the same time we're doing the section that we're currently working on, we're going to be able to go back and we're going to do the dark coloring here as a separate little section so that it actually reads separately, especially when you photograph. This is going to show up really well that you took the time to pipe this as a separate section. It's really going to make it look like your banner is billowing. All right, so I'm just going to put tiny little bit of this dark color on the section, and we'll work it in with the fondant tool so that it's a real fine swirl. But we want just a little bit. We don't want a lot on this section because we definitely want it to, when we look at it, we want it to read like it is a different section of our banner or the ribbon, however you want to look at it. Right. And then if you've done this, let's say you do all of this tonight, and then tomorrow morning you come into your cookie studio and there's sunlight streaming through the window and you're thinking, I don't feel like I have enough difference between my sections. Just grab up some of your brown luster dust and do a little antiquing in the crevices, but definitely do not do it until this cookie is fully dry, okay? All right, so let's set that over. So that is now finished. So do you know how little we have left? Let's see. We've been on here 53 minutes. We'll probably be done in just a couple minutes, and I'll be sad because this is our official 7th cutter. This is our official 7th cutter from our Tiki Hot Summer Series. So much fun. Hey, let's see. Yes, Becky is doing amazing work on all of hers. They're beautiful. And I love some of the variations that she's posted for you guys. So I hope you're checking out those too before you do your cookies. Give you some great ideas. Tiki Hot. Hey, Mary, how are you? Becky saw your comment. She's saying thank you, Sharon. If you didn't see that, let's see. Bev, you're making these for your birthday in December. Oh yeah, you will have a warm birthday because you'll be in Florida. And if that's meant for me, Becky, thank you. Thank you. I'm just trying to impart a little cookie joy back into the world. It's really saved me during the pandemic. Let's see. See us soon. Oh, Daisy. Somebody else is now on duty to remind me about the daisy when I start the flowers. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Jen. You have a good night. That's so much fun. Okay. So let's lift it so you can see what it looks like in case you do want to leave it nice and clean like this. Okay. You see how our banner is all separated and we've got that cool texture. Then we've got our Tiki Hot Mask, which we did as a transfer. We've got our flames that were transfer, and we have our Tiki Torch holders. We've used 2 shades of green, and we've used some daisy yellow underneath to shade those. So he's so cute, but I want to go a little extra. Hope that's okay. So here is what we are going to do. First and foremost, and I can't believe Jennifer got away before we did this, but let's do this first. Okay. These are all dry. Okay, now let's pull this over here so you can see it. So these were all done with fondant, and I did 3 shades of flowers because I knew my flame was going to have 3 colors, and I kind of wanted to tie it all together. So let me see. This is what I was talking about. It's an Elite color by Sugar Art, okay? So it's Elite, not Master Elite, and it's called Daisy. If you don't have this, get this before next spring, as a minimum before next spring. You might even need it for Christmas. In my group, you'll probably need it by Christmas. But do you see how it's already, do you see how that's granulated? Are there any allergy sufferers in our group? What does that look like to you when you see it like this in this container in its dry form? Anyone feel free to answer this question if you suffer from allergies. What does that look like? Anybody? Anybody want to answer the question? What does that daisy yellow when it's clumped like that? Oh, yes. There we go. There is the dreaded word for all. Well, that wasn't it. I clicked the wrong one, Bev. Sorry. Lavelle got it first. The pollen. And Harriet got it. She must be an allergy sufferer too. Kathy got it. So for all of us that suffer from that, you know it's highly necessary for everything to become beautiful in the summer. Yes, Janie, the dreaded pollen. And Sandy got it too. But look how cool this is, you guys. I took this and I put a tiny bit into my tray with Everclear, and I colored all of these little areas with the yellow. Okay. See, I have a little shading. And then I went back with the dry brush and I just grabbed some of this up and tapped the molecules or the little clumps, whatever you officially want to call it. I tapped them into the cookie because I realized that it actually looks like pollen. Now you have to do this right after you, let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you how this works best. So you have to get this part wet with the yellow you're already using. And then with a dry brush, you want to quickly pick up some of these molecules and you want to tap them on top of the flower because they'll attach. Let me show you. They will attach to the cookie, the fondant bit because it's wet, but they'll stay in that clumped up form. So yes, if you're going to bag these, not a good idea because when you turn it, it's going to fall off. But if you're boxing these and they're going to be setting them out, this is going to look great on the cookie. It looks so realistic. So another use for our daisy, okay? You can get the clumps to attach, but any wind or things like that hits them, it's going to loosen that dust and blow it. So how about we just attach a few flowers? Your pollen is green. Yeah, we have yellow and green. It's terrible. Harriet is saying check. Harriet, clearance aisle. Are you talking about at Michael's or Walmart? Because there are some clay molds in this set too. All right, but we're going to attach a few flowers, guys, and then get you back to your regular lives, not your Tiki Hot live. Okay. We're going to get you back to your regular life here shortly. So I think I want to use my smaller flowers and make some clusters. So what I'm going to do is I trimmed my bag like a chicken beak, my tipless bag. I trimmed it earlier like a chicken beak because I wanted to have the ability to add some leaves without adding the other leaves that I had made if I decide to. So first of all, here's all of my leaves that I've already colored. I've already dyed them different colors. We've got a lot of sizes here. We've got light green. We've got dark green. We've got a sage green. I've got a couple of feathers. I've got some from the other royal icing transfers. I've got a fondant leaf that I broke to see if I could attach it, but it's going to be too big. And then I've got a couple of these from the bamboo shoot leaves, if we want to put a few of those on. And also I have just a few of my wafer paper leaves left in case we need filler. And they're tiny, so I went ahead and pulled them out because I only have a few left. I thought it would tie this cookie together nicely. And then I pulled all the little green fondant bits or broken bits that I've saved. Like these are from broken... Let me move this. These are from broken royal icing transfers. So I save all of that. Okay, good. Both. Harriet is saying both to check the clearance aisle because it does work great with fondant. And as long as you've only used it for food, you should be fine. So I pulled all those things. I got them a little bit of extra coloring to them to make them more dimensional. I'm going to pull that to the top. I've got this cut in case this cookie was too tight to add the big pieces. I have this cut so I can just pipe a few leaves. But what we're going to do first is just pick a few things to add. So I think I like this. So I'm going to see roughly where that's going to attach to the cookie. I'm going to put a little bit of this on and attach this. Now, I didn't make a lot of yellow flowers in this project, so I really want to attach this yellow flower. All right, I'm just going to pop that right on here. I'm trying to stay above the sign because I still want to be able to write something here when this dries. So I'm staying above the sign as much as possible. Now, I'm also going to use one of the freshly made flowers, and I'm going to take it more to a cone shape. And I'm going to attach it down in this area. Some of this, guys, it's going to be tight work. You might need to do it with tweezers. Use the tweezers if you have to. You see how cute that is? All right, so these white ones are still very flexible. They were made right before class. I'm going to do a little pinching and kind of cluster that. And I'm going to work a white one in right up here. So what I'm doing is just adding the green and then attaching my flowers. That way, if anything shows through, it just looks like leaves or vines behind it. So that's cute, right? Cluster of 3. We've got all the balance of these colors working together. Honestly, guys, I don't think I'm going to be adding a lot of the leaves to this because it's so cute. Maybe one of these. I do want it to match up with my other cookies really well, though. So I do want to work in some of the fondant bits and pieces. And I see right there, you can't see it on camera until I lift it, but I can see that because of the height difference here, I have a little gap right there. So I'm going to use this and just gently, that's a wafer paper leaf. I'm attaching it to that extra icing. Also, it gives me some up and down dimension. Let me lift that so you can see in case you're working along with me tonight. Can you see that in there? And we've got the wafer paper. I might make that a little bit darker. Let me see what that does. Let me see what the wafer paper does. I haven't done this on the cookie. It's probably not the best thing to test, but let's just see what happens. Oh yeah, it's fine. As long as I keep it really light. I'm adding a little bit darker green to that one, that wafer paper bit. I'm putting a little green in my veining here. And I'm going to pull that back up so we've got some height with these pieces, okay? All right, so let's come on over here. And I think I'd like to use this cool pink one that we did the pollen on. I do need to do a little bit of trimming on the side here because I didn't use the part of the fondant mold that's for leaves. So I tried not to push fondant into that area specifically. So I think same thing over here, only I want to do my big cookie off to the side over here. So a nice little clump of icing to attach this to. Oh, isn't that cute? Looks so cute. All right, so let's use a baby yellow flower for here. I think we'll put that right in here, and I'm going to squish it up a little bit so it has a cone, so the cone will sit down into that icing. Oh, that's adorable. Hope you guys like this as much as I do. Let's see. I'm going to squish this little white one up. I'm making a little cone area because we just want to make sure that gets seated in the icing, right? We want it to be attached. We don't want to pick the cookie up and all of that fall off. Plus, your flowers would be going all different directions, so it's really great to attach them like this. Okay, so let's go there. Let's see. How about we attach... How about we... Yeah, we're going to put this over here, okay? So let's get some icing on that. Whoops. So I'm not going to need my bag cut that way for the cookie I'm doing, but you guys might want to use that little tip. So still good knowledge to have in your cookie making arsenal. All right, now I do think I want to grab one of these twisty leaves in a different color to put in here. All right. I think that looks good, getting us some good dimension, very tropical looking. I'm going to grab another wafer paper leaf because now we're down to these itty bitty details, and we're going to just tuck in one of those leaves right there. And look, I think that's it for tonight, you guys. I'm going to gently lift it because I don't want my icing to crack on my wood plaque. So this is our Tiki banner cookie. Can you guys see that? How cute is that? So I hope you enjoyed this. Let's see. Let me see. Sally, a complex cookie and bring it to life. You know, I totally dig these projects. They are so much fun. To multiple mediums on a cookie has become like my area. I just absolutely love it. And I love to see how many things we can combine. So thank you for noticing that. I don't know where it originally went, but I did see it, Sally. Super cute, needs glitter. Oh, no. Oh, Jen is going to kill me if she comes back and sees that. Look, I meant to turn around and grab this, and I was going to dust all the flowers ahead of time with a little diamond. But instead, you guys, how about we try this? Flames should be sparkly, right? Because flames dance. So let me show you how to do something like this if you get scatterbrained and do it after the fact. Just rip a piece of paper towel and lay it over what you've worked on, because we obviously don't want this on the whole cookie. This would be similar to stencil blocking, what I'm doing right now. And we're going to make our flames sparkle, okay? So let's get some. There we go. Now we've got our diamond dust. Now, I'll tell you, if this doesn't stick, it is sticking because mine are still wet. But if you forgot to do it when you first made the royal icing transfer template, if they are totally dry, you can use a little bit of Everclear, just gently brush them, and then spray your glitter immediately and it will attach, okay? Now I'm just going to use my brush, a clean, dry brush, and I'm going to knock some of this extra glitter off. And you saw we shielded that and it's still on the cookie, but I think it'll look great in the sunshine photographs tomorrow. So the only thing we have left to post from the official Tiki Hot series is the little labels that I'm going to make you to store with your cutters if you want to use that. And then the photographs to download of your cutter with a finished cookie. Okay. So that is it. I hope we ticked off all the boxes tonight. Thank you, Miss Debbie. Yes, yes. And Bev, thank you, because I almost missed the glitter. I was going to do all the flowers, but I think I like that I did the flame better. So happy accident. Nadine, thank you so much. I'm glad you liked the set. All right, you guys, well, I'm going to let you go for the evening. Please message me if you have questions. Bev, I'm going to go right now and see what the problem is with that part 5, number 3. You may end up with 2 copies in your set because I'm just going to add another copy of it. So that should take care of that. And I think that was all the questions for this evening. Thank you. So Barbie, all boxes ticked. Good, because I would feel like I had failed you if I didn't hit them all. But we did get candy with our coconut drink. We're going to go back and add tomorrow. It's in the dehydrator, right? We're going to add that right here in this area right there. We're going to add that little coconut drink. Now, I will show you something I made, but I'm not going to attach it to this cookie because I don't have my poppy paints here at the house. So I just did this with watercolor, but I did a watercolor bird. I really want to do a parrot though with like the yellow, red, orange. So I need my poppy paints and they are at the store because I used them this weekend. So I may paint over this and then add him. And if I add him, I'll be adding him over on this side because it's my baby parrot. It's supposed to be a parrot. I just watercolored him. So that'll give us a bird and the coconut drink to add too. So you guys watch for those things. Can't wait to see you. Hopefully I'll be seeing you on Friday or Saturday night with just a live cookie cam. I've got some different sets to make this weekend. So hopefully I can get at least one of those, working on one of those live with you so you can see it. I got a really cool woodland animal I'm doing this weekend. So I think that one would be really fun. And you guys are so very, very welcome. And I will be seeing you soon. Okay. I hope you have a fabulous evening and thank y'all for watching. Please share if you're on here and you're a regular follower, please share it to your regular page. It helps up the views, which helps other people see our broadcasts when we come up. It just gets a little bit more exposure for the cookie group. Okay. And check out the cookie group because we have grown by huge numbers.